Hello and welcome back to another video here with me. And in this video we're going to talk about the truth of twin flames, and we're going to get into why you are on this journey, if you are on the twin flame journey, and what this journey is really about, what this path is really about. So let's get into today's video. Hello, my name is Anastasia and welcome back to another video here with me. If you love content on spirituality, if you are on this journey of ascension, please join the channel here. I talk about everything on this channel to do with spirituality, ascension. We cover it all on this channel. And let's get into today's video. So the twin flame process, this divine union journey, is about merging masculine and feminine. It's about one soul that is split into polarity. One soul that is split into masculine and feminine polarity that is merging back into union. Because you see, this journey, this twin flame process is about the union of masculine and feminine coming back as one equal unit. Because masculine and feminine were designed to co-create as one unit. God's source, is the oneness of masculine and feminine energy. It's the oneness of masculine and feminine in unity. And so when we talk about the twin flame journey, when we talk about the twin flame process, it's really about the masculine and feminine unifying. It's these polarities that are coming into union. You're unifying within yourself first, the polarities. This is what I call the inner union. When you go through this journey, you're really working with polarity, because you see, ascension is really about polarity work. And we are in a time right now where we're going through a huge consciousness shift, a huge ascension on the planet. And part of why we're on this journey, part of why twin flames are here, or we're on a twin flame path, is because we have to merge polarity to come back into that wholeness within ourselves, to come back into that divine blueprint and to activate all your divine codes, your divine blueprint. And this is allowing you to come back into that unity field. And so part of the ascension is really to unify polarity. This is why we're on this path. It's about polarity work, polarity integration. And when you go through ascension, it's about unifying the masculine and feminine. This is what we're doing on this journey. We are in a huge ascension right now on the planet, and we are activated into this ascension through meeting our twin, through meeting our counterparts. So we're activated from going from that 3D consciousness into the 5D consciousness. We are right now in an ascension cycle. So this means that this huge ascension energies coming in on the planet, activating you into the next highest level of your identity, integrating soul layers into the body. You're becoming soul infused in this physical vessel. And so what you're doing through this process of meeting your twin is you're activating each other's codes, you're activating each other's blueprint. And this is what happens through the process of actually meeting your twin and working with them energetically. And so what happens is that the feminine polarity usually is the one that gets activated first, the masculine follows. So how it's supposed to be on this journey is that the feminine, because it's one soul, the feminine leads, the masculine follows. So this is usually how it's working, unless there's some issue with polarity. There's sometimes the masculine polarity can be more the feminine, the feminine polarity can be more the masculine. So it really depends. But what happens usually is that the feminine is leading, the masculine is the one that's following. So sometimes it can be the other way around. So we are right now in a huge ascension wave on the planet, and your twin flame is there, this divine union is there to merge polarity and to go through ascension, to activate you through the ascension. So everyone that's going through ascension is going to get activated through a twin flame process, so that you can integrate and hold more frequency in your body too. This is part of also why we have this other person, and this is you in another physical body. So this is part of what we're going through. It's an ascension through activating your highest blueprint, your soul blueprint. So twin flames are not here to be in this codependent relationship. They're not designed to be in this, 3D love relationship or this romance of the 3D construct. They are actually here to come into the divine power individually and then come together to co-create in divine union, because you cannot co-create in divine union when you are not in your divine essence, when you're not in your highest truth, when you're not in your divine power, when you're not in your divine masculine or divine feminine power. So a lot of twins have come here with a lot of karma, or they've taken on a lot of karma. There's twins that are just, you know, human angelic twins. There are higher coded twins, and this is really different levels of twins. I'm not going to get into what that is. I do talk about it in my other channel, Journey to Union, if you want more of that information. But most of twins have a lot of karma to clear out before they can come into that divine union. So this is what's happening. A lot of this process is really releasing a lot of that old dark age. So what we've been in is we're leaving now this Piscean age, which is the old dark age, and we're moving into this golden age, the age of Aquarius, or this age of Ascension. We're actually clearing out the past and moving into the future. You see, 5D New Earth is a future timeline, a future Earth. And this is what we're actually moving into, because the way that time works is that the 3D or the 3D time is a lower density, it's a lower vibration. When you go in higher elevation of vibration, you're going into higher reality, and you're going into the future. So this is when your consciousness is moving through these timelines, and that's what Ascension is. You're moving through these different timelines by actually moving through these different consciousness levels. And so you start at this 3D level and you start to move up in consciousness through this journey. This is naturally the way it happens on this twin flame process. You're moving your consciousness into higher states of elevated consciousness because you're going through an ascension, and that's what this twin flame journey is allowing you to do, because you're merging polarity and going through ascension. So why has it been so complicated for the twins to actually be in physical union on this planet? Is because we're in a state of duality, we're in a state of separation. So what that means is that we've been separated from God's source, we've been separated from our soul. When we're in a 3D consciousness, we're really in that separation consciousness. When we come out of separation, we then are moving our consciousness back into higher states of consciousness and more connection. Less separation, less polarity, less duality. And we're merging back with our soul. We're coming into that unification with our own soul blueprint. And this is really important with the twin flame process to understand that because we're split in polarity in the 3D, this is why it's been so complicated for the twins to actually have physical union here in this 3D plane. So when they get activated, there's a lot of problems of trying to come into physical union for that reason, because there's so much polarization, there's so much karma, there's so much of this duality between masculine and feminine. That soul is trying to come back into union, but it can't, because it keeps getting pulled away, because there's so much of this wall of separation. And the wall of separation is actually in the energy. That's where the wall of separation is, because it's one soul. And so the soul is pulled together, the soul is pulled apart through this journey. And this is happening because the soul is trying to come back into union. And so this journey is going to take you through that clearing of that duality and polarity within yourself. So it's going to get you to come into the soul blueprint. Your soul blueprint has to activate, and you fully have to step into that. You have to fully collapse polarity and duality. You have to heal the karma or the karmic blueprint that you've come in with, this karmic load. So we all have this karmic load, and this is part of the separation. And all these energies, the separation energies, have to be healed in order for the twins to come back together, in order for the soul to merge, because it's actually happening on an energetic level. This union is happening energetically first and foremost, and then it happens in the physical. So you're going to start to feel your twins' energy and you merging. If you're really on this journey of the twin flame process, this is an alchemical union. This is a spiritual union. It's not so much of a fixation on a person outside of you. If you're still fixated and still obsessed, That's early on in the journey, and that's still the ego construct, having attachments. You have to break past that and realize that this process is a soul process, a soul journey. And once we get beyond the ego on this journey, because the ego is breaking down, we go through that ego death, and that ego construct is holding us down in that lower consciousness of the 3D. So we're breaking that down to come into our soul blueprint, okay? And this soul blueprint is starting to activate in the more in that 5D consciousness, and that's the heart chakra. That is the connection to the heart. So when we go through this journey, it's really important to understand that we're collapsing that separation consciousness to come into that unity within yourself, and you're merging polarity as a result with your twin energetically to come back into the union of the one soul. Partly what's also happening on this planet, or what has been happening, is anti-herogamic technology has been used. This is alien technology. These are alien implants. This is to do with the grid system on the planet as well. So if you don't understand this, this is good for you to know, because of the grid, because we are in a 3D consciousness, it actually polarizes the masculine and feminine. And so this is what the grid system right now on this planet, or what we're going beyond, because we've got a new grid system coming online, which is that 5D grid. And so what we have happening on this planet, or we had happening, is this alien technology that has been polarizing the masculine and feminine, splitting gender apart. So that's why the masculine and feminine have been split on this planet. We've been in that split consciousness, and masculine and feminine have not been in unity. We've had this alien technology, we've had an alien race come in here. If you didn't know this, we had fallen from that 5D consciousness. Originally we were in that 5D consciousness, we fell into a 3D consciousness. So this is also part of it, and what we're restoring on this journey is we're coming back into that 5D consciousness, into unity consciousness. And that's part of this journey also of the twin flame, because you're actually merging polarity. So this means that you're coming out of that 3D, that duality state, into that unity state. So you're no longer going to be polarized. And so a lot of what we're doing, if you're on this journey, is you're really collapsing all of that false grid, because we are actually repairing that false grid. Some of us are here to actually do that work, to repair the grid. Some twins are the holders of this higher grid, to anchor in that union, that divine union in the grid system, to be able to hold that union, to merge that masculine and feminine. This is the rod and staff in the planetary level. So this is what a lot of twin flames are also doing. A lot of the ascended master twin flames, we actually have that contract to hold that rod and staff in the planetary grid, to anchor that down, because we've been in that split separation on the planet. So masculine and feminine couldn't be in divine union. We couldn't actualize divine union on this planet for that reason. So there's a lot of false claims as well online about twin flames, and not everyone's on this journey, even though they're using the twin flame label. It is very important that you have discernment on this journey, and discernment in terms of actually coming back to what is my truth and what is my soul telling me versus what is someone else telling me. Because there's a lot of people out there in the New Age movement, because we have a New Age movement that's actually there to stop ascension, that's actually there to stop the twins from coming together, and that is really part of the dark agenda, because we are in a spiritual war. We have to remember that. So it is a process of actually understanding that you hold the power, and that nobody outside of you holds the power. So listen to your own intuition rather than listening to, you know, people outside of you, because there's a lot of people out there in the New Age movement that are not actually on this journey, that are just using the label, but they're not on this path. This path is not about possessing a person. It's about actually coming into your own power, and it's going beyond that ego construct and going beyond that lower consciousness. The physical union happens as a result of you coming into your power, of your soul alignment, as a result of you actually coming into who you truly are. That's why your twin is there, to activate you constantly and you to them to come into this higher level. It's not about you possessing a person or needing a certain person outside of you, chasing someone outside of you. This is not what this journey is about. And this is what this twin flame new age movement has made it about an obsession, about a possession. It's not about a possession, it's about your own ascension, one soul unifying, coming into divine union. This is a process of the soul, of the polarity merging in that oneness, to come back into oneness of the soul. So it's really important on this journey to not get lost in everything that's out there, but to come back within yourself and to understand that this is a sacred journey. This is a journey of ascension. This is a journey back to your soul. This is a journey back to source connection, to your connection out of the separation, because we've been in separation and we've been incarnating on this planet constantly in the separation, this 3D duality. So now through this ascension, we're coming out of that. We're coming back into that connection to your soul blueprint. And this is a beautiful journey because it gets you to come into who you truly are. Your soul mission, your soul purpose, these higher timelines start to activate because you are coming into who you truly are. And the physical union is actually going to happen as a result of you coming into that internal union, you coming into soul alignment, you coming back into your soul blueprint. Your masculine outside of you, if you're the divine feminine, is following your process. It's one soul. There's usually a delay as well with this process because of how the 3D works, how the 3D is behind. And so the feminine goes first, she's shifting, the masculine is lagging behind or behind the feminine. And the masculines right now, where we are collectively, are going through a huge divine masculine awakening because the feminine is shifting and the divine masculine is following. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you want more divine union twin flame support, you can go to my other channel, Journey to Union, for more information, for more guidance, for more support on this journey. You can also join my community as well on Patreon. We do a lot more content on there if you want more support on this path. And if you haven't liked already, please like, please comment, please share your stories, and let's connect. And I look forward to speaking to you, connecting with you in the next video.